You guys look like... What do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
Get those birds! Nerds! Nerds!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What? Are you kidding? We got some family here. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
You are listening to the In the Mouth of Darkness podcast, the official podcast of the Alamo Drafthouse, Winchester.
Welcome to another edition of the REVIEWcast podcast. Joining me is Brian Young, the Turtle Dork.
My ass is on fuego.
And I'm your host, Darren Smith, the Disco Dork. Nice clubhouse. And welcome to another edition of the REVIEWcast podcast.
What is that from?
The same trailer your quote came from. Wow, no justice for Han. This motherfucker come back and you can't even remember. You know what? You don't deserve him. You don't deserve Han.
No, dude. I've seen that trailer a few times, man.
And you can't remember what the most important person in that trailer says?
Yeah, I know. And he's still eating chips.
Snacks. He looks good for somebody who's constantly snacking.
I know. And don't have no burn marks on his face.
Hey, you know, it's that he got the Asian gene in him, you know how we do. You know how we do.
Oh, man. Yeah, so we'll get to that.
We'll jump right in, and that's part of your weekend dork. How was your weekend dork?
Oh, weekend dork was good, man.
You ain't do shit.
I really didn't, because my weekend dork is that trailer. But
God damn.
I know, but I want to start off a bit on a sad note.
Don't do that.
I know. I look, it's actually kind of good being here because, like, this week has been kind of shitty, and I have been shedding a lot of tears for the unfortunate death of Kobe Bryant and the 8 other souls that were lost in that helicopter crash, including his daughter, which is the thing that kind of really fucked me up. But yeah, man, it's weird when I found the news out. It literally was it was Sunday when I left here. So I think we both left here at the same time because you had to pick Sia up. And I got inside my car and alert came on my phone and it said Kobe Bryant dies. And I literally, like, you know, anytime you find out somebody died, you're like, what the And I was like, I could not believe it. And I was stuck in your parking lot for like 10 minutes and all these texts started coming in. And I was like, yo, and I had to read the shit, and I went on Facebook, and I read that, like, his daughter Gigi was with him, and then that, I was like, fuck. But yeah, man, it's just, that was just wild. And it's weird, like, when it comes to, like, celebrity deaths that, like, really affect you. Like, you get sad when anybody, especially like somebody that you have like some type of connection with as a celebrity that you like, whether it's like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, or anybody like that. But, you know, speaking of Fast and Furious, like the deaths that have really like shaken me was like Paul Walker and now Kobe Bryant. Like this one has really just kind of messed me up this whole week. And I just think a lot of it has to do with who Kobe was as a basketball player, and he just felt like this person that was kind of invincible on the court. And a lot of people talk about like the Mamba mentality and, you know, his work ethic and his desire to be great and understanding that in order to be great you have to put in the work. But it's also like how he later in his life, how he was instilling that into his daughter and to all his children. And you would see him, especially after retirement, seeing him with his daughter Gianna and at the basketball games and him coaching her and how much love he had for her. And you would see him, like, this clip's going around online on Jimmy Kimmel where he told the story about how him and his wife need to have a boy so he can carry the legacy. And Gianna would be like, hey, I'm the one that's going to carry the legacy. And 13 years old, and to be so young and so gifted and so promising and have her life cut short. And things that just really kind of messed me up, like this past week, I'm just thinking about, and I'm not a father, I know you're a father, but I know a lot of, like, just the idea of being in that helicopter at the moment and him just trying to make it safe for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it seem like it was okay knowing that it wasn't going to be okay. And it's just, that is the most devastating thing to me. And it just shows you, man, that life is fragile, man. And it doesn't matter, like, how many accolades you have or who you are, that, like, it can be taken from you. Like, life, it doesn't, it can be taken from you at any moment. And I think just like with any death that we see, it always makes us look at things like, like hold the ones that you love close to you, and don't take anything for granted. And it's just sad all the way around, and just the way he passed. But and the other 7 people that passed in that too. I mean, you have families, you have husbands, you have mothers, you have kids that don't have their parents anymore. The one gentleman lost his wife, and now he's thrust into this thing where now he's a single parent of 3 kids. Like, it's just, your life just gets turned upside down when you have a tragedy like that. And my heart goes out to Vanessa Bryant, their other 3 daughters, because I just can't even imagine what it's like to lose a daughter and to lose your husband like that. And it's just, my heart goes out, man. And they did a really, really nice tribute last night at the Lakers game. LeBron spoke, and a lot of tears have been shed, and just what Kobe meant around the world to many basketball fans, especially in China. He was an incredible Renaissance man, not just a great basketball player. I mean, his intellect to the game, and what he wanted to do after retirement, and you started to see the fruits of those labors, especially with him winning an Oscar for the short animated movie that he did. And you could see he was enjoying life. At 41 years old, he was starting to really just enjoy life, and then for it to be cut like that, it's just sad, man. It's just sad all the way around. So I wanted to speak on that because this is one that's really going to be affecting me for a while as a basketball fan. But I just think his life should be celebrated and be honored, and as long as well as his daughter Gigi, because that's is the most tragic thing to me, and just everyone else who lost their lives. But wanted to speak on that. I don't know if you had anything to say, but
No, I recognize the tragedy in it. Just me and my particular perspective. I use that unfortunate event and to look at my life and my relationship with my daughter, not any differently, but just as an affirmation of how I already live it, and how I already try to make the most of every moment with my daughter. Like, when I'm with her, I don't pick up my phone. Like, I don't answer calls. I'm with my daughter. Like, I make every second count, like people talk about, I heard multiple people talk about their thoughts on those final moments when he's in the helicopter with her. And for me, I do see the tragedy in that, but I also see the blessing in that. Like,
them being together.
For her last moments, she was with her daddy.
Yeah.
And you were saying, like, his job of trying to make her feel like everything all right is going to be all right, even though he knew it wasn't. That's a parent's job. That's my job for Sia anyway.
Yeah.
It was like, that's what we live for. Like, he was doing that before they even stepped foot in that helicopter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to protect your children, even when like, the world is going to be hard for them. The world is going to be mean to them. I tell Sia all the time, like, you go into that world, man, there's going to be some people out there that just hate you just because of the way you look, because they're not you, because you're a female. Yeah. And I got to love you and tell you everything's going to be all right, And so I look at that moment and think about how blessed she was to not have to go through that by herself.
Yeah.
And for him, same thing for him. Like, for him to not have to have his last moments alone, but with someone that he holds dear to him, and have his last moments being what he was meant to be, which is a good father. So
Yeah, so rest in peace, man. Rest in peace to the Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to Gigi, and to all 7 of the people who lost their lives. But moving on from that, getting into my weekend dork, like I said, another one that hit me hard was Paul Walker, who was a member of the Fast and Furious franchise, which they had like a little concert yesterday to... you probably didn't know about the concert, did you? Yeah, so... They
had a Fast and Furious concert?
Dude, so check this shit out. So they've been promoting this all week, all month actually. That the trailer premiere for F9 coming this, what was yesterday? Saturday, Friday. A concert and trailer premiere. So they were down in Miami because this is Super Bowl week and Super Bowl's down in Miami. So everybody out in Miami. So they had a concert. Your boy Luda performed. Cardi B performed. It was like this hour-long concert before, and then they interviewed the cast. They interviewed Justin Lin and John Cena. All these people were there, and then they premiered the trailer after the concert, which was streamed on YouTube. It was streamed on Twitter. It was streamed on YouTube. So I was like, why the fuck are y'all doing all this for a trailer? Okay, so whatever, man. So the trailer finally drops. I do my reaction. I see this trailer, man. And look.
I saw you had your Ride or Die t-shirt on.
Yeah, I did, man.
Because you're a huge fan of this franchise, right?
I am.
So you have to be ecstatic and over the moon, right?
So let me give everybody some context, right? So since like the first 6 movies, and like we started this podcast 5 years ago, 2014.
Yeah.
And so while doing this podcast, Furious 7 and Fate of the Furious came out. And so when this podcast started, I used to sing to the high heavens about how much I love this franchise. This was the franchise that was basically holding me over until Bad Boys 3 came out. That's what I used to say. So I got Bad Boys 3, so okay. So Furious 7, the unfortunate death of Paul Walker and what they had to do with that production. But going to Furious 7, I was just like, something just don't feel right about this movie, man. And it was just awful. We did our review cast, and I was just like, I just wasn't. And then Fate of the Furious, man. I remember we saw that at the IMAX up in Tyson's Corner.
Yeah.
And that movie, I remember that review cast was the same way. And I was just like, all right, man, you know what? I love this franchise, but my excitement for it is just gone. It did a nosedive. I'm just like, and I told you, I was like, the only thing that could possibly bring me back is Justin Lin, because I like what he did with the franchise.
Did he do 7?
No, James Wan did 7. James Wan and F. Gary Gray.
Oh, okay.
So Justin Lin did 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
So he's done the four of them, and I love what he's done with the franchise. So I was like, all right, bet he's coming back. Let's see what this is going to look like. Me in practical action and practical stunt work. And my biggest thing is like, I was waiting to see Justin Lin bring back some practicality to these action sequences.
I don't know how practical you can get when you got an airplane, a magnet plane, picking up a car.
Or a jet, or not a jet, or a Jeep that is driving on a wooden bridge that one end has fallen and is driving up and then like Vin Diesel's car at the end is doing a Tarzan swing.
That part right there, okay, here's the thing.
I'm like,
how different as far as defying physics, giving the middle finger to physics and real world practicality, is anything in this trailer than anything in the rest of this franchise.
But you know what? Honestly, I don't. And I know a lot of people go to like, oh man, you dragging a safe through Rio de Janeiro. All right, 5 and 6, like it takes action to a ridiculous level, but it doesn't really. To that point, and those 6, they're like, oh, how long is this runway? All right, I can get past that. I have suspension of disbelief, and I believe me, and I've gone with the franchise up until this point. But I don't know, for some reason, and you know me, I'm a defender. I've defended this shit like forever. But I don't know, watching this trailer, I was just like, all right, man, y'all take it. Yo, Vin Diesel, I don't know if this is real because I couldn't see the shot, but this motherfucker caught a car in air. Like when he was on the side, like what was that?
Okay.
Did he really catch it?
I don't know why you think people think he caught the car. Like
I don't think he caught it either, but every time I watch that trailer, because the other car is on his side and the car flips and knocks the other car back back frontwards. So I don't. It's weird, man. That shot looks weird.
I don't know. This is the Hobbs and Shaw universe. He might have the super soldier procedure done that.
But dude, man, and that's the thing. Like, and everybody said they have made these characters full blown superheroes, and they basically have done that.
They have, like, a couple movies back, like before it got really, really bad. Like Fast Five. Like as soon as The Rock entered, he was the first superhero in the franchise because he's not human.
And I get it. Like, and the thing is, like, I've been with this franchise from the beginning, and so if you ground it with us caring for these characters, then you can kind of go along with the absurdity of the action. And so I think that's the only thing that it has going for it is the fact that it knows its audience. And that's the thing. It's like, and that's the thing I commend Fast and Furious. It's like their fan base is ride or die with them. So they can take the franchise into these ridiculous areas, and the fans will come along with them.
So you're saying you will come along with them?
Yeah.
Because you're a fan, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even understand why you're arguing against the trailer then.
Okay, you know what? I can't. I don't buy John Cena as his brother.
Me neither. I don't buy Ludacris as a martial artist.
Okay, dude. Now stop. Okay, now we talked about this off air. Luda does one combo and knocks that dude off the back of that truck. I thought it was kind of tight.
I bet you did.
But again, we haven't seen it in context, and you saw that Tyrese Roman Pierce was with him, so maybe they was like comboing him together.
That's gonna make it even worse. You're not helping my argument, B. You're not helping.
I don't know, man. Look, I know I'm kind of contradicting myself because it's like I'm talking shit about it because I'm like, all right, I know they done jumped the shark, but this trailer but then again, I'm kind of defending it. Especially with the Luda stuff, like for me, we talked about this off air. All the crazy shit in this trailer, and the one thing that you can't buy is Luda.
Yep.
Fighting somebody.
I told you, I'll give the airplane catching the car in midair a pass. I'll give the swinging Tarzan Dodge Charger a pass. But I'm not believing. I'll give Han coming back from the dead. Like you ain't even gotta explain that shit to me.
Yeah.
I need answers on how all of a sudden Luda is a martial artist. First, Tej used to host jet ski parties in Miami Beach.
You will not let that go, man.
And then he's a safe cracker who all of a sudden knows everything about every safe, and now he can outfight. Why wasn't he doing that shit in the other movies?
Actually, he did fight somebody in the other movies, or at least he punched somebody out. So he had time to learn, man. You got to adapt to your surroundings, man. Right. Like, you're in these dangerous situations, you're going to learn how to fight. You will learn how to, like, you know.
He ain't never fighting. You know what? All right.
But I'm just saying, though. But I don't know, dog.
I'm just glad Han is back. That's my ticket is bought already. It's literally purchased, and it's just to see Han. Like, I just want to see Han.
Yeah, it's good to see Han back. I know a lot of people have been like, well, why would you put that in the trailer? But
that would have been I'm kind of mad that they did that in the trailer because if they had just kept that under wraps. That would have been huge. That would have been a great surprise for me.
But see, from a marketing standpoint, a studio standpoint, it's like they're not going to hide that because they want people to talk about that. Because you think about, I was thinking about this actually.
There's enough in this trailer to talk about.
But I was thinking about this, and these are two different franchises, and one was kind of going downhill. But I think about Justice League, even though that movie was some shit. But after the movie came out, and hindsight is 2020, but everybody was like, all right, we knew Superman was coming back. Why didn't y'all should have put him in the marketing because it could have sold more tickets. But the thing is, it's like, okay, Superman died in BVS or whatever, but everybody knew he was coming back. So it's just like, okay, do you hide that even though people already know it?
Nobody knew Han was coming back in this movie.
Yeah, but people have been talking about it.
No, people
because of
wanted him to come back. Period.
But because of that whole hashtag Justice for Han, and they already mentioned that, okay, we are going to revisit that. We are going to answer those questions. I think in the back of a lot of, especially overall, a lot of people knew that, like, all right.
I ain't know. That shit caught me by surprise.
Well, in the trailer, it caught me by surprise, too. But then I'm like, okay, yeah, I figured.
I didn't fit. They could have not had him in this movie, and I wouldn't have thought nothing different. I'd have still wished, like, they still did my man wrong. But
yeah,
that was a big shock to me. That was a big surprise to me. Like, oh, shit. For a half a second, I was like, "How the fuck are they going to explain that?" Then my fandom kicked in. I was like, "You know what? I don't even care. I don't even care. Matter of fact, don't explain it because you're just going to ruin it for me."
Yeah, I know. But they want people to talk about it because Han is a fan favorite. Like, Han is a lot of people's favorite character. So I see why they did that, because they want people to talk about it. And I know they have to promote that. So they like the tagline says, justice is coming. So what that means, and because now we know, like, Shaw has gone from being a bad guy to now being a good guy. How do you explain that? I think because Helen Mirren's character is in this, and she's Mother Shaw, that she has something to do with Han saving his life, or the whatever happened at the end of Tokyo Drift. Because all that shit just don't make... I mean, and it's funny, people said it online, it's like, this shit is like a soap opera. Like, people just come back from the dead. This shit is just... So you know what that means? Gal Gadot got to come back. If she just fall off, and I mean, he got blown up. And if she... And especially if Owen Owen Shaw, his brother, if he lived from falling out the plane onto the runway, then Gal Gadot could live from that.
Yo, that's gonna be dope. And the stinger at the end, like the mid-credit sequence, like she comes back.
Yeah, but I mean, but her star is too big. She's Wonder Woman. She ain't gonna come back to a Fast and Furious movie.
All she gotta do is just show her face and then come back for 10.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if she did, but like, she's just way too big now.
She ain't that big. What else she got?
Wonder Woman.
And what else?
She's working on a movie now with The Rock, Red Notice, that's going to be on Netflix.
The Rock coming back for Fast 10.
Yeah, I think the 10th is going to be the last one. I think they're going to bring everybody back. Mm-hmm. I think so. We'll see. But my ticket is bought. I'm going. But this trailer just...
I'm surprised. I'm as shocked. Your reaction is as surprising to me as Han coming back in the trailer. I thought you would have been like...
You already know I was on the fence because of Fate of the Furious.
I get that.
And I was waiting for this trailer, but I was cautiously optimistic. And I was loving what I was seeing. But then I was like, they just... And I know everybody's going to say they already did it before, but to me, they really just jumped the shark with this shit. They really did. But hey, I'm with it.
Are you though? Cause I'm confused as shit. I can't tell if you're with it or if you're not with it. Like I'm flabbergasted.
Look,
right now.
I love these characters, man.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. It might be time to start to wrap it up because these stories are just starting to get a little too, like, I don't know, man. Like,
do you okay? As crazy as the shit that's in this trailer is, do you realize and understand that for the 10th and if final movie, they're gonna have to even go even stupider? Like, can you just imagine the lunacy of what the 10th movie would be?
I can't. I mean, they took a stealth jet and it caught a car. I don't know. I can't.
Unbelievable, right? They took a Ludacris.
Oh, stop it, man!
A martial arts or a fighting expert. Crazy, right?
Dude, stop it with Ludacris, man.
Oh, okay.
They got their own bat cave. Like, what they got? Dude,
Who's funding this shit? You only robbed one bank. You only had one safe.
Yeah, I want to know how they're going to explain John Cena is his brother.
I don't know.
See, I talked about this during the Bad Boys thing, where it's like how you retroactively, like how you recontextualize things by introducing new things. So now when it makes me go back and watch the previous films, now I'm thinking, oh, okay, so this motherfucker got like an older brother, or whichever way they decide to explain it.
He's never talked as much as family means.
I know,
to him,
and never talked
about
never talked about it at all. And then I'm thinking to myself, and I know Paul Walker's passed away, but Mia is back, and so but Mia and Brian have supposedly left this life behind, but Mia's back in the fold.
Who the babysitter?
Yeah, and it's another thing too. Dom got a kid. And he up here risking his life.
Mia do too.
And I'm like, you jumping off cliffs, and you got the confidence to know that this rope is going to latch to your car, and it's like, oh yeah. So without you a father. Stop. We just talked about like you got to be here for your kids. This motherfucker I'm just jumping off cliffs. fuck my son. Like
Sir Isaac Newton physics of gravity got this. We good, baby. You know what?
Like, bro, oh man. I got suspension of disbelief. I'm always the one that's just like, look, man, suspension of disbelief. Just go with it. But even man, that shit can only go so far.
I know. I draw the line at ludicrous.
Stop it.
I'm being a bank vault expert, I'll maybe give you that. I still had a hard time with that, but now this month.
Why she gonna be fighting like 2 or 3 dudes?
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't you do that to me.
I hope so.
I hope not.
I
man.
hope so.
I hope
man.
not. Oh man, I'm gonna cover my face.
Oh man, but that's my weekend dork, man. Fast 9.
God damn.
Luda.
Stop, man. God damn. Oh, I can't stand. I can't. I just don't like his performances. Even like he always looked like he trying not to laugh or smile. Oh my goodness. Anyway, what was I getting ready to say? My weekend dork. I saw the rhythm section. I saw.
You said you saw Gretel and Hansel. Right?
I saw Gretel and Hansel. I saw that earlier today. You know what?
Oh, okay.
This is one of the movies that I don't feel like it deserved to be dropped in January.
I've actually heard some pretty decent things about it. It's not really my bag, but I've heard some decent things.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
It stars Sophia Lillis, who plays Beverly in It, the most recent movies. The younger version of Beverly, who that character was played by Jessica Chastain as an adult. It's directed by Oz Perkins. Oz Perkins did this movie called The Black Coat's Daughter, if I'm not mistaken. It was a film that we saw at Lost Weekend. Right.
Yeah.
Man, this is to me, because I didn't vibe too much with Lost Coat's Daughter, especially as it wrapped up. It was very ominous, and like it had some good tension in it, but like it just never led anywhere for me. But I feel like this is a pretty significant step up from that film. Okay. The cinematography in it is crazy. Like it's really, really good. The atmosphere, the score, it has like I want to say like a hybrid score. Some of it sounds like it's inspired by like 80s like 80s horror like synth stuff, but then other parts of it sound more contemporary. But it's a good film. Like it takes the premise of Hansel and Gretel, and I don't want to say stretches it out to an hour and 27 minutes, like in a bad way.
Yeah. But
it does stretch that premise out of these 2 kids who stumble upon this cottage in the woods, and there's this maybe or maybe not be a witch that lives there, and she's trying to fattening them up for the kill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes that premise and it does something interesting and different with it. This particular version of the story is unique to me. I don't know that I've read if anyone else has read or seen any an interpretation like this. What it does though, it does contextualize it in today's female empowerment.
Oh, really?
Movement in a way that I was not expecting, but I do think can be appreciated by an audience. It's not interested in jump scares. It is interested in atmosphere and tension. You know, with the tensions baked in by us knowing what the main characters are not yet aware of. We know because we know the history of the story. We know this lady is a bad person. The kids are oblivious to it, or at least Hansel is. Gretel, and one thing that differentiates this from previous iterations of the story that I've been privy to is that Gretel is older than Hansel. She's a big sister. Hansel is really in her care, in her charge. And so that's also why it's titled Gretel and Hansel instead of Hansel and Gretel. And it's really about her empowerment and self-discovery of her potential, and you know, especially in a time, you know, this takes place like long time ago, back in the days when, you know, as disregarded as women and women's rights and opinions are today, like even back then, like it was way worse. And so, you know, that idea of a woman finding herself and discovering, you know, her abilities or powers or who she is, her character, in that time, I found it really interesting and fascinating. And the movie does a good job of that. And Sophia Lillis, she does a good job in performance. Jessica DeGao, if I'm pronouncing her name right, is oh no, that's not her. What do you call I'm trying to find the lady who plays the witch.
Is it Holda?
Yeah, Holda. Alice Krieg. What is she in? She's in she's the mother. Holy crap, she's the mother in Stephen King's Sleepwalker.
I don't know that.
You never the cat people?
Yeah, nah, I don't. Come on, dog. It's horror movies.
What? oh man, that's she was in Thor: Dark World. She was in Solomon Kane, Sorcerer's Apprentice. She's been in a bunch of stuff. But most notably for me is her playing the mom in Sleepwalker. She was also in Deadwood, but you haven't watched that. Shame on you.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Mouth Dork. She was in she played a character in Star Trek. She played a Borg character. Or the Borg Queen. She's the Borg Queen in Star Trek Voyager. But anyway, she is Holda. She is the witch. She is the occupant of the cottage that Gretel and Hansel stumble upon, and she's got a great face, like a great character face, right? Just her bone structure coupled with her performance. They do this really cool practical effect with her, like, and you can see it in the trailer. It looks like her fingers are dipped into some black either tar or ink up until like the third section of her digits, and it kind of gradiently fades into her normal skin color. So it looks like she just dipped her fingers down into some black tar and like took them out real quickly. But her fingers are always like that, and it just adds this creepy factor, this creepy, practical accoutrement to the, her visual aesthetic, and just where the story goes. Like I said, it veers distinctly left of the traditional grim fairy tale, and so I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's a really cool and interesting concept the way that they did it. It's a shame that it got dumped in January. I'm purposely avoiding spoilers in the story because I really would like for the listeners to experience it. If you were on the fence about seeing it, I would say it's definitely worth checking out. If you are already planning on seeing it, yes, good choice. Check it out. I'm not going to spoil it for you here. I will say, like, the setup of what gets Hansel and Gretel out of the house and into the woods is sad. Like, it's terrifying, and it's sad. It's pretty effed up. It's one of those things where you look at like period films or like films and stories that take place way back in those days, and like because of just the quality of life there or lack thereof, like, whether it be famine and the plague and shit like that, they just had a rough life. And you just feel like horrible for like all parties involved. Yeah. It's like that, and the sequence of events that sets them on their way is really heartbreaking. But it's good, and it's kind of frightening. So I don't know, man. This movie worked for me, man. I saw the trailer like back when it first debuted, and I thought it was really interesting, and it made me excited to see it. So it was a pleasant, not necessarily surprise. It was gratifying for the movie to be as good as I'd hoped, or maybe even a little better than I'd hoped. I was just hoping I would just enjoy it like on a 3-star level. I gave it I was teetering between like 3.5 and 4 stars. I gave it like 3.5 stars ultimately. So I was quite surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
So it's not like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters?
No.
with Jeremy Renner?
No, it's not. Right. No, it's better than that movie. It's better than that movie. And I don't know. I even happen to think it sticks the ending. I think it lands the ending too. Okay. So it's not VF. Shout out to wife Dork. So she is, she's given in a mixture or concoction to help her go to sleep. She's gonna request that Hulda make her something to help her go to sleep. But then she's gonna drink that. But in the next scene, immediately it cuts to her. I'll just say spitting that out because she doesn't really want to go to sleep, so she doesn't want to ingest it. Oh, yeah. So she's bringing it back up. So okay. So once she requests that and she drinks it, they're gonna cut, close your eyes for like 30 seconds, wife Dork, and then enjoy the rest of the movie. But yeah, that's gonna do it for my weekend Dork. I caught the most recent episode of The Outsider on HBO. Man, this is getting good.
So what is this? At the second episode?
No, this is the 5th. I'm on episode 5 now.
Wait, when did it premiere?
Like 5 weeks ago, like 5 Fridays ago, or Sundays ago, whatever.
I don't know why I thought it just premiered like a week or 2 ago.
Nah, man, this is like the 5th episode, and it's holding up. Like it's still good. Okay. Cynthia Erivo now, her character is beginning. She's taking center stage almost, and she is great. Like, she is great. So different from her character in Widow. So different from her character in Bad Times at the El Royale. Obviously different from her character in Harriet. She's an incredible actor.
She is an
incredible actor.
Yeah, it's I almost say it's been some. No, I'm not even gonna put that out there. But she's nominated for an Academy Award. She's in the Best Actress for Harriet. She's not.
It's not. Oh man.
But she's great in it.
Yeah.
But it's just odd that that performance would get an Oscar nomination with the movie, because a lot of times the movie usually has to be up to par, to get people to start to look at her performance. Yeah. So it was just odd that she would get nominated for that, but it just shows you just how talented that she is for her performance to shine through a mediocre movie.
Yeah, she's deserving of an Emmy nod for her work on this show.
Maybe she'll get one this year.
Hopefully, it'd be a crime if she didn't. But
I have to check that out.
That's what I've been keeping tabs on recently. Trying to think what else.
I saw you on Letterboxd. You put The Turning. I know that came out a while.
Oh yeah, that's what I think about it. I forgot.
1 star,
bruh. That okay. Look,
1 star.
That movie. We're only at the end of January, so today is February 1st.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's not. We're not that far in 2020, but The Turning is the worst movie of the year so far to me. That movie was horrible.
I mean, it's not something I would go see. I've seen the trailer a bunch in the theaters, but yeah.
Trailer doesn't do the movie justice. The ending of that movie is shitty. I'm sorry. I take that back.
Nah, man.
I didn't mean to say it in that way. I meant to express my dislike of the film. Not the movie ending is shitty. I really did not like the ending of the movie. That I should put it in that way.
Okay.
It just really did not work for me. It went off, and I was like, "What?" I audibly said, "What?" And 3 people behind me were like, "What?" Yeah. Oh, man. I don't want to spoil it because it may be your bag. It may some people might want to go see it and check it out for themselves. But I gotta tell you, it did not work for me. And you know what, Paul? Go see it and explain that shit to me. Hit me up on social media at the Disco Dork. Hit me up on Facebook or whatever and explain the ending to me, because I don't get it. And I don't even think it's a ending to get. I just really didn't like it. So
yeah, I don't know, man. Like horror movies like that I just don't respond to stuff like that. So when I saw the trailer, I was just like, yeah.
That's a movie that's super reliant on jump scares, and they ain't even that good.
Yes, yeah.
They're not good. But then just the story, and then the execution of it, and then that ending, like what? I'm literally mind boggled. Like that ending fucked me up. I was like,
oh shit.
Not even the what was really like what, like why did you decide to end it that way? Not even what just happened, but like what was your thought process? Like why?
Was it? Well, I mean, like I said, you don't want to spoil it, but was it like abruptly? Like was it explained?
Yeah, it was abrupt, and it wasn't really explained. It just something happens. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to spoil it, but something happens, and then it does the thing where this last segment that you saw happen maybe didn't happen, and then it picks up in time from there.
It shows
and then
you
it goes,
like a different...
It goes forward, but then like in the middle of that, it just stops. It's over. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, tell me that off air then.
It has like two endings, or an ending and a half, I would say. It's nuts.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, that was save your money. But see, I got the Regal Movie Pass and the AMC thing, so like I chalk it up as
you got the Regal one too?
Oh yeah.
So is that still worth it, even with AMC paying that and the Regal Unlimited?
Yeah, because when I see big movies or whatever, like the IMAX and stuff like that, I just use my AMC. Like, because they don't charge you an upcharge for like Dolby Prime and IMAX. They don't charge you.
So AMC is like that. AMC A-list is $30 a month.
I'm paying like $24,
and then the Regal is about the same. So you're roughly paying $50 a month. So you would have to see.
I went to the movie. I went Regal alone.
Yeah,
Regal alone in January. They just sent me a summary. Regal theaters alone in January, I went 9 times.
Yeah, I got mine too. I went 6.
I went to Regal alone. I went 9 times.
Yeah.
All right, and then I go to Tyson's. Sometimes I'll stop there before I go to Brad's house to record when I want to see a movie again to talk about it on the podcast. And then if it's a big movie that's released in IMAX or Dolby, I go there. So I get my money's worth for both.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Because I got Regal because it's around the corner for me. But I just don't know if it's worth me getting both of them.
Then don't. But for me, because of the way I watch movies.
Yeah, no, that's
and
right.
Presentation matters to me.
No, I know. Because, I mean, AMC it is extremely beneficial, like you say, especially the fact that you can see, like, all different formats. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just don't. I mean, there is no. But see, the AMC near. Now, I'm good with Regal.
Yeah,
I'm good with Regal.
Stay with Regal.
Yeah, I just need to start going more often, especially now since I'm on my own schedule.
I use it to see movies more than once, so I can talk about it. Like I said, I'll watch a movie on Thursday, and then what I'll do a lot of times is I'll go see it again on Sunday right before I come to Brad's house to record, so that I can get my thoughts. And because sometimes I'll watch a movie, and depending on the movie, it'll just be a lot to process, and then you see it again and you pick up things.
No, you're right.
Other times it'll be a movie that's just okay, and I done forgot about it by Sunday, so I'll need to watch it again to at least discuss it.
Yeah. So I need to, because I'm still in that mindset that like if I go, that I'm physically paying for a ticket, not knowing that I'm using my Regal Unlimited. So it's just like, oh man, but I gotta pay. I'm like, wait a minute, I have Regal Unlimited, but I'm still in that mindset. Like, I don't know. It's stupid. I'm just that's just my weird way of thinking. Don't mind me.
Yeah. So when we come back from the break this week, our review cast is for, I just gave you my worst movie, listeners. I gave you my worst movie of 2020 so far. When we come back from the break, we're going to do our review cast for Brian's favorite movie of 2020 so far, and that is the Blake Lively thriller, The Rhythm Section.
If that's how you spell worse.
Wow, spoiler alert. Dang, emotional spoiler alert.
That's all good.
Is it though?
No.
You're a walking contradiction today.
No, I am.
Good,
That could be a swerve. I mean, you never know. Like
I know. I didn't just meet you yesterday.
Rhythm section could be one of the best in the year so far.
Look, you can't even look at me when you say that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the rhythm section when we come back from the break. If you haven't seen it, go check it out because we want to spoil this movie when we get back. So that's going to do it. I was about to say until next time because I know Brian don't want to talk about this movie.
Don't worry.
But when we come back from the break, the rhythm section. You got to find your rhythm section, Brian.
Yeah, what's it? Your heart is the drums.
It don't matter. It's some bullshit.
And the breathing is the bass.
The bass line. That's whack. When we come back.
Hey, this is Liz from People I Think Are Cool, a bi-weekly podcast where I interview my favorite creatives from across the globe. If you're looking for a dose of creative inspiration, then go to peopleithinkarecool.com or subscribe to People I Think Are Cool on iTunes and Stitcher.
You like film, from cult to classic, from blockbuster to B-movies. And there just isn't that one place with all the fan fervor and passion that's covering the kind of mad, diverse brilliance that you love.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
AfterMovieDiner.com is that fan-built movie nirvana just for you, featuring the sweet, sweet writings of the wife dork herself. AfterMovieDiner.com. Go there. Be the best you can be.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. This week's review cast is for the rhythm section. Directed by Reed Morano, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Reed Morano. I think she's a director from like The Handmaid's Tale or like The Handmaiden. I get all that confused, but I think, and it's produced by Barbara Broccoli and her company Eon. So a lot of people were kind of going into this like really optimistic about it possibly being like, the new. Like a
franchise,
a franchise, a female like spy franchise like James Bond because Barbara Broccoli was involved. But
I could see that.
Really,
with the story narratively, what the story sets up for that character, maybe I can see that.
Okay.
What? Wow. All right. So,
no, it's all good. I mean,
is it though?
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's from IMDb. A woman seeks revenge against those who orchestrated a plane crash that killed her family. That woman being Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Who plays Stephanie Patrick. The movie also stars Jude Law, Sterling K. Brown, Daniel Mays, and a bunch of people you probably don't know of. But I don't want to insult your intelligence. You may know who these people are. You can check out IMDb to see for yourself if you know who they are. But for the sake of brevity, I'm not going down through the whole entire cast because I know Brian is stupidly excited to talk about the good of the film. We're going to do our good, the bad, the ugly. I was going to say round robin, but it's technically a back and forth. It's like
Back
tennis.
and forth, yeah, or badminton.
You know what? Fucking just the good, man.
Okay, the good. Man,
I would have rather ping pong.
All right, the good, the rhythm section. Man, that car chase scene was off the hook.
Wow. But you know what? You laughing and joking. I think it was pretty cool.
No,
honestly,
honestly,
I would put that in my good.
Honestly, like all right, I didn't like this movie. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay when I saw it. But then, like, I started thinking about the movie in preparation for this review cast, whatever this review cast is going to be, because I really don't think there's much to talk about. But
damn,
I probably have more to talk about when it actually comes to my bad. But the good, I actually thought that action sequence with the car chase saved this movie for me, to be honest with you.
Damn.
I thought that car chase was incredible, to be honest with you, man. Like, the way Reed Morano decided to really shoot the entire sequence from inside the vehicle with Blake Lively, almost uncut. If it may have been uncut from
it was one shot.
Yeah. I just thought like it just pushed you right into the middle of the action and just it made you feel like what it would be like to be chased and shot at and trying to avert like people walking and stuff like that. It just really it escalated that
those stakes that I felt, like the danger in that moment. And I just thought that was incredible, and I wish we had more moments like that in the movie. Again, I'm going back to my bad, but that and Blake Lively. I've always been a big fan of Blake Lively. I really have. Yeah, I loved her in The Town, like the little supporting role she had in The Town. And I talked so highly, I think it was last year or the year before. About
Savages came out a long time ago.
Damn, she was in that. Damn. Yeah, that was pretty bad. And Green Lantern, damn. Yeah, she don't make a lot of good choices, but I like her.
What
when
about
she's
Simple?
That's what I was going to. A Simple Favor, the Paul Feig movie. She's a scene stealer in that movie, man. She is incredible. I mean, that's a star. That movie to me was a star-making turn. Have you seen it? I don't think you've seen it yet.
It's on Amazon. I gotta watch because y'all keep talking about
Man,
it.
I know
mixed things. I hear either it's good or like.
Man, that movie's fucking. I don't even know how to describe it, man. There's a certain character, Anna Kendrick. There's a certain something with her character that's revealed that's just like, what the fuck? that's like it's a what the fuck, but it's also kind of, I don't want to say it was funny because that might be a little, but it's a wild movie. But Blake Lively, man, she is incredible in that shit. I love her in that movie. So I don't know. I've always been a fan of hers. I've always kind of defended her when people would say stuff about her acting or like her performances, whatever the case is. So I don't know. Like, I have issues with the character of Stephanie Patrick as far as like some of the decisions that she makes in the movie. But overall, like with her, like the trauma of her losing her family and coming out of that, like from being a drug addict and a prostitute and trying to find her way. I think her portrayal of that character was really, really good.
That's it.
Man.
Don't pull a muscle.
Yeah. Right. I don't know, man.
It's cool. Hey, if it ain't your bag, it ain't your bag.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to this movie.
Were you?
I was.
Oh, okay.
I was. I was putting this in like the whole, defending January type thing. I was like, oh man, we got Bad Boys, we got The Gentleman, we got Rhythm Section coming out. Yo, January about to be lit, son.
Oh wow.
But it wasn't.
Okay.
Well, at least it didn't end that way. So.
Yeah.
But that's it.
All right. Well, for my good, also Blake Lively, her performance, but also not just her performance for everything you said, but just that character and how it was written for that character for us to be able to see the effect of this particular trauma and how she chose to deal with it. So to have like, you mentioned that it was suspected that this movie would, be the start of some type of franchise for some female type of, action star or spy or whatever because of the relationship that the production shares with James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
Well, if they were going to do that, to have a agent or whatever you want to call it, with this particular type of origin, with this particular type of trauma and tragedy, to have these particular type of, if you want to say character flaws or whatever, like she is for origin for some type of, superhero, not superhero character, but some action hero character. Like she's a walking gray area, and I really like that. Like she has trauma inflicted upon her and her life and her family. She doesn't deal with it in a healthy way.
Not at all.
She's damn near killing herself slowly, whether it be through her drug use or just the situation she puts herself in with these strange men or whatever.
Yeah, which I think makes sense for her character if you put somebody in that situation.
Yeah, and she feels like she's lost everything, so she doesn't seem to be valuing her life in that way, or she's experiencing so much pain that she's using these drugs and this particular way of life to numb the pain, right? Yeah. And so she's offered a chance to get back at the people who did this to her, And that reporter guy, actually, he plays a character in the Lost in Space Netflix show.
Oh, I watched that. Yeah,
I recognize him from that. So when she's offered this chance to get back, basically, like the first act of the movie that shows that and shows this offer and her getting to that point where she eventually decides, all right, I'm going to do this, because initially she rejects it. But how she ends up coming to decide to do that, even like the failed attempts, like I appreciated like all of that shit. I appreciated the fact that she didn't just, because in the film she plays like a ex-grad student, right? Like she was a smart, straight A, student in college or whatever, going to get her degree or whatever. She's very intelligent. She was not an action hero. No, history of any type of violence or anything like that. This tragedy falls upon her, and because her desire for revenge is so strong, she just wants to go get the people responsible. And the movie doesn't automatically make her a Liam Neeson character, or like it doesn't automatically kick her into action hero John Wick mode. She's not Atomic Blonde suddenly. She doesn't know what she's doing. Like 9 times out of 10, like if something if she's fighting somebody, a lot of it just comes down to fucking dumb luck and circumstance. Like she doesn't necessarily fight her way out of things like through skill and stuff like that. And to me, I appreciated that, because that's not who she was or is. Now, by the end of the movie, it doesn't even explicitly say or lead you to believe that all of a sudden she's like that. It still doesn't even do that. So to me, I like the fact that it leaves it open that, I don't know, maybe she's going to go just try to live as normal life as possible. Or maybe, she's going to continue down this path to, keep trying to become, what Jude Law's character was, or as proficient in it. So, I don't know. I enjoyed the different take on the quote unquote action, because she's not even an action hero in the movie. Like,
no.
The talk about the suspicion of it being a new franchise in the vein of James Bond, except starring a female, it's kind of misleading and does a disservice, because she's not an act. She's a regular person that has this crazy shit happen to her. And like I said, her desire for revenge is so strong that she just wants to go get the people involved by means of, inflicting violence.
Yeah.
And so it kind of takes her down a hole that was bigger and deeper than she bargained for. And I like the psychological and physical ramifications of that to her and how she responds to that. So I appreciated that. Jude Law's character, I appreciated his performance. I like, his, I like his interactions with her and the scenes with her. And what else? Let me see. I like that car chase sequence, and that, how it was shot in that one continuous take. But also, again, she's not hopping out of a Fast and Furious movie knowing how to do defensive and aggressive and evasive driving and maneuvers. She's just she knows how to drive a car. She knows how to put the pedal to the metal, and she knows how to swerve as best as she can if she sees she's about to hit some shit, and duck when she's getting shot at. Like in the movie, I like that she's doing what she knows how to do, not what we want her to do as the star of an action thriller, not what action thriller stars have done in the past, but just based on her character, her background, and the story and the narrative, she's doing. It's almost like it's just self-preservation. It's not even necessarily skill. It's like fight or flight response, and I appreciated that. And so that coupled with her performance, and especially like where we see her at rock bottom, I feel ground her character and give her a very human, puts her in a very human context, and that I appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, now's your time to shine.
No.
The bad.
No. No, because like I said, it's not that serious for me to be ragging on this movie.
I didn't say rag on it. I'm just saying.
No, but actually, but a lot of my bad was what you just talked about, and I think after hearing you explain it, and I kind of knew that, but it was just maybe because the movie just didn't grab me from the beginning or grab me throughout, that it just made me kind of look at those things you were saying about her character and some of the decisions that she was making. Like some of that stuff was just like, like
what part?
Well, everything you said about her character, as far as like her not be proficient as a killer, And a lot of times when she would go on these missions, or like when she would try to get revenge in order to kill these terrorists, it would inadvertently cause someone else to get killed. Like when and I was thinking like, damn, she's just making like a lot of these dumb decisions. But I think that goes again to her character. But it just rubbed me, I don't want to say rubbed me the wrong way, but it was just like, it just kept frustrating me. But like when she found Reza, the guy in the cafeteria at the school, and she goes and she's going to do it, and then he asks her like, can I help you or something like that, and then they leave and her bag is gone. So they took her bag, which, and the fact that she couldn't pull the trigger got Proctor, the reporter dude, got him killed. Mm-hmm. And then like when they sent her on that mission in New York to kill that other dude, and like he was like, oh, I have kids, and she was about to slit his throat and she couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And then like end up killing his kids because Jude Law had the bomb in the car, and it's like, well, you could have killed him, but now his whole fucking family's dead. So you not being able to do this, and I get it, like that's like, the progression of her character and seeing how she's not able to really do a lot of these things that she feels she's set out to do.
Or living a life like this comes at a cost. It's not like this movie is saying, not to me, what I get or what I could take away from these things happening in it is, in other movies, you don't see or even consider this. In other movies, it's easy for somebody who's never killed a person before to want revenge, to go up to somebody and shoot them point blank. But in reality, when you gotta take a life, and if you're sitting across the table from, and you've never done that before, and that's not even in your nature.
Yeah.
The thought leading up to that, the nights before, the weeks before, I'm so angry, I want to do this. When I see this motherfucker, I'm gonna do this. That's one thing. But then when you come face to face with somebody else, or you come face to face with the opportunity to do that, and it's right there, and then you see the human being right there, and then you start the process that once you do this, there's no coming back from that. What is it going to look like when this bullet goes into this person and comes out of this person? There's so many different things. Like, taking a life from a distance is not the same as doing it up close.
Yeah.
She's thinking, she's going by, but prior to that moment, she's living off of emotion. She's living off of the emotion of losing her family. So that's why she's doing fucking heroin. That's why she's fucking, passed out in the bathroom. That's why she's sleeping with, turning tricks for money. She's living off of the emotion of pain, grief, guilt, and anger. She's living off of emotion when she decides, I'm so angry at these motherfuckers that I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to go kill them. But when she gets to that moment, the being led off of emotion stops, and then she starts thinking with her brain.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I found that refreshing. Like, you don't see that a lot in movies.
I mean,
right? And then, okay, you saying you want to jump in because you think about how many we've seen this story before. Or somebody's wronged me, so I'm gonna go out on this killing spree of revenge. But how many times do these people or do these movies show that, okay, if you decide to do this, not only are quote unquote you're gonna have to live with this for the rest of your life, but these things that you do are gonna cause like a chain of reaction of events that are not just gonna affect you or the people that you're after, but those people that you go kill, they got families.
Yeah, all right. You make.
I'm not saying to change your mind. I'm just saying like.
But it's true, and I recognize that. I do. I recognized it when I saw it, but just something about. Maybe it was just the way the movie, and this may be in your bad, but maybe it was just the way the film was directed and edited, and the way it was put together. It's like, because I had pacing issues, and I just couldn't.
I will say the movie felt long as shit.
It felt extremely long because the pacing of everything, I just found myself getting bored. So when it was hard for me to really kind of follow a lot of these character moments with Blake Lively's character, Stephanie Patrick, because it just felt drab. It felt long. It just felt like I was just like, okay.
Well, the movie does spend like a good portion of it just establishing where she is and how these things affect her. It spends a good 20 or 30 minutes just showing, not even before she even decides to go do anything, just showing like okay, this is what she's doing in life. Even when the reporter comes into her life and starts giving her information, like, yo, I know who these people are. At that point, she's still reacting to the trauma of it, because he's showing her these are the people who did it. These are all the victims on the wall, and she's still reacting to it. It's just showing her. It's just it spends a good portion of that movie establishing that she is hurt so bad by this that she's gonna make a dumb decision and go do something crazy.
Yeah, and I like going to your point about that. I know we're talking about bad, but there was one thing that I did like, and it reminded me of something that you said about the Tomb Raider character I don't really want to say that she killed the dude, but the guy with the breathing apparatus, where she held him back from breathing, and then he died. And you could see like how going to your point as far as like taking a life and what that actually looks like to her. But I like how when she can actually actively take someone's life, which, spoiler alert, because this is a review cast, Sterling K. Brown at the end to find out that he was the baddie that, caused the actual plane crash, because she has the needle, the lethal injection thing, that, when she's able to take a life, she can do it, like you say, face to face in front of the person that actually caused her family to actually put her into that situation that she was in the first place. Yeah. So thematically, I like that, how, the moment she was able to actually do it, it was to the person directly responsible to that. Yeah. Now going to Sterling K. Brown, this will be my last thing about the bad. I just thought that whole thing was convoluted. I just did not understand. Like, okay, I knew that there was like, what was it? U-17 was the person. Which was him. But and maybe this was part of the pacing, because I just started to drift off, and maybe I just lost something in the plot of it. But I was just like, I'm just not following how he was responsible, because why Jude Law sent her to him, because I guess he had information about something. But the plot of everything just got so convoluted to me.
Jude Law wasn't aware of who he was. Sterling K. Brown's character masqueraded, not even masqueraded. I mean, he was an information broker, right?
Okay.
And it's within that world of quote unquote like espionage and political geopolitical information and uprising and all that kind of shit like that. Like, he was an information broker due to his previous life in the CIA. Like, he had access to that.
Oh, okay. So he would sell information to people. Like, if people needed information, then he would be at a price. He would be able to give them what they needed.
Yeah, that's why she went to him to find out the address of the guy that she ultimately withheld the oxygen from.
Okay.
He had that he gave her the address at the newsstand. All right, here's his address. Have fun.
Yeah. So maybe he was doing that to maybe try to cover his own tracks.
Yeah, he not even cover his tracks, but in a sense, but like, it's a facade. Like, okay, this is me. If you know me, this is what you know me as. But meanwhile, using the information that he was privy to because of his previous life in the CIA, he also had ties to all these extremist groups, and he would use that to give information to allow these people to cause these upheavals where he would benefit from, because someone's going to want to know, okay, who did that, and how can I find information out about that? Oh, well, you come to me. I got information of who did that. Well, because
because Jude Law referenced to that, because I think either Stephanie was asking him like what was the reason, or either Proctor, the reporter, and it was like, well, there was no reason. Sometimes they only do it because it's profitable to them. And it seems like for Sterling K. Brown, he didn't have no real motive, except to the fact that it was just profitable to him, that he would benefit from.
And also he says, it got to the point where I just started doing it, but just because it's just what I do. Remember he said that? Remember he was like, I started doing it because blah, 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 blah. Then when he was talking to Blake Lively, and he's like, then it got to the point where this is just what I do. So, and he gets paid for it, so it's profitable for him. So it had nothing to do with, oh, you know what, I want to take that regime down. Or, you know what, I believe in the same things that these extremists believe in, so I'm going to help them out. Nah.
Interesting. Okay, it started. Yeah, like I said, because I think that's probably the biggest thing was just the direction, the editing, the pacing. So, and because my mind just started to drift, and I was just losing focus on the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but that does make a little bit more sense when it comes to that, because when she does end up killing Reza on the bus, where she finally catches up to him, and that bomb goes off, because he gives her misinformation saying that, well, Reza is both U-17 and the bomber.
Right.
And then I think she picked up on that. She was like, "No, he's not U-17 because he's just an errand boy." And so she must have figured out, like, okay, like he's the one because he's giving me false information. Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, that stuff just got all okay. All right. I feel a little better about the movie. I'm still I'll probably forget about this movie by next week.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too.
You're making a convincing argument, though. You sure this ain't gonna be on your dorkies in 12 months?
Nah. For my bad, I would say maybe the pacing, but at the same time, that's like I also kind of appreciate that they took that much time getting me, establishing that this is where her character was mentally and emotionally. Because when in the second and third act, when she goes to do these things, all that stuff carries over. That so much of it, again, established was where she was in such an emotional place in the first act. So in the second act, when we try to get her to do these things and do these first couple of jobs and she can't do them, okay, it makes sense, because in the first act, she was making the choice to get in this life from an emotional standpoint, not from a rational standpoint. So she's not ready for this. She's not even built for this. So it makes sense that these failed attempts would go like this. And then in the final act, based on what happens and the establishment of, well, if you decide to do this, especially if you decide to do this half-assedly, or half-assedly decided, like not even considering everything, okay, you're going to overlook the fact that there's going to be fallout from you trying to live this life that you really shouldn't be in, and you're gonna have to deal with that. And in the third act, things that happen to her are direct results of the actions she took in the second act that she shouldn't have, but she did because she was leading from emotions instead of rationale. And so I kind of, at the end of the day, like, because it was structured like that thematically for me, the time thinking back on it, like, I don't know, there was only one scene where I felt like, man, this movie feels long, but after that scene, something else happened, and I didn't think about that anymore. Like I was with the film. So as far as the bad, I would say, like, Sterling K. Brown's character, I guess, like, while I just sat here and defended or just explained, like, I understood, like, what he was doing, like, I don't know that I necessarily liked him in this part. Like, I don't know that I necessarily liked that character. Not even, like, because it was written bad or he just was a bad dude or whatever, like, because of his principles or whatever. I don't know. Like, I normally like Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, me too. I like him a lot.
But I just didn't, I don't know, maybe it was his performance or what. I don't know what it was, but his character really didn't even do anything. Although I understood his purpose. I don't know, maybe I just didn't like the whole them getting together, like, as far as, like, even, like, physically or intimately. And, maybe it was a thing where she's been on her own for so long and, dealing with these random people turning tricks that maybe I don't know. I don't know what that physical connection was between them, but to me, I didn't buy it. You
don't think she was on to him prior to her killing that other?
I don't know that she. No, prior to that guy blowing up.
Yeah.
I don't, because remember, she was unaware, even up to that point where she had already slept with him. She was standing outside. She got that phone call from B.
Yeah.
And B was like, "Yo, do you know they're gonna come for him because X,
I remember.
So I don't think she knew. Like, it wasn't until after the events, like the bomb and all that other stuff on the bus, that she kind of realized, okay, something's not right with this dude, and she kind of put 2 and 2 together. So I kind of feel like that's another thing. Like if she had known and maybe she was playing him, then maybe I could kind of see that. But then again, that's like, I don't know. I wouldn't have been. I don't know that I would have been like pleased with that either. But that's really my bad. As far as ugly, what do you got for ugly?
Man, not really much ugly, man. Just I think everything just comes down to just the whole look and feel of the movie. Like I said before, it just felt drab, and maybe that's why I just wasn't feeling the movie overall.
Yeah,
not nothing I could really pinpoint that I could really put my finger on, but it just felt drab. Like it was just like, oh, this movie just.
Well, you gotta think like from a character standpoint, she's in a bad place. Like her,
like
you're supposed to feel like she's at rock bottom. Where she lives in the beginning, like when we first see her.
And maybe that's just not what I wanted to see at that moment. Maybe I'm just like, this ain't the type of movie I'm looking to watch. And maybe that's this is getting away from ugly, but maybe that's one reason why I feel like this movie hasn't been responding to audiences, because it was marketed wrong. I think that people were probably going into this thinking it was one thing, and they go into like this character study, this character drama, about this woman getting revenge for terrorists that killed her family. That's
it's not taken like she's not like going out for revenge like that. She's not John Wick. She's never really tactical or proficient in anything she does, even up until the end of the movie. Like she doesn't come into her own like most films of this ilk do. Or characters of this ilk do. But I appreciate it because that's different. Like if it had been that, then I would have been complaining like it's cliched and it does what I've seen this movie a bunch of times before. But because her character doesn't do that, it's one of the things that I appreciate about it.
Yeah, and I think that was just probably one of the biggest things. Just these movies are getting just so mismarketed, man. And it's just like you can't fool your audiences like that. People are paying money to see these movies, man.
Well, one movie that I don't believe is being mismarketed, and it's going to most definitely be what the trailer has. It's F9.
Fast 9, yeah. You right about that shit.
You're not going to have to worry about that shit, babe.
You right about that. Love it or hate it. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, I'm getting ludicrous. Inexplicably, for some reason, all of a sudden, this motherfucker he's a bank vault expert. He's a jet ski water racing expert. Now he's a combat expert.
Yeah, man.
Fighting John Cena's tactical teams who they spend probably 5 days a week in the gym and doing tactical training.
Yep.
And yet here come Ludacris, who spends his time in Madrid with Roman Pierce in hot fancy cars. All of a sudden this motherfucker can keep... You know what? Miss me with that shit.
Yep. Luda.
Boy, bye. That's my ugly for rhythm section is the F9 trailer. That's my ugly. Ludacris fighting.
Oh man, I love every moment of it. I can't wait.
Man.
Yeah, I need to sit next to you watching that movie.
Nah, you had the opportunity, but you don't want to. You want to ignore people texting.
Man, look, I told you before I was cooking all day yesterday.
Look at me. What do I look like to you?
Dude.
Look at me.
Okay.
Look at me.
All right. We need to settle this. I was cooking, and I don't have my phone on me all the time.
Right. Neither do I.
And I got to my phone, and I saw Brad had just texted, and I was like, oh, and then you texted like some snark remark. I was like, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker. And that's why I was like, so yeah, I showed you. I was cooking. I had chicken breast, chicken thighs, ground chicken. Yeah. I had some asparagus. I had vegetables. I was cooking all that because I didn't have any food in my refrigerator. So I needed some cooked food. So I had stuff to eat.
Right. Okay. Thank you for listing off everything that you cooked, because that definitely changed my mind. It did not. I'm being facetious. I'm being flippant.
I know.
Do you know what flippant means?
You don't give a fuck.
I've never heard it described as that. I was going to say it means I'm being facetious, but I like your explanation.
It's just like you flip somebody off, like man, I don't give a fuck. That's what's up.
I like yours better.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, I got a headache now. Ladies and gentlemen, hit us up on social media at ItModCast and let us know what you thought about the film. If you've seen it, We're at ItModcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Wife Dork and Mouth Dork should be back on Monday from Sundance.
Yeah.
I'm excited because they got some good stories to tell because they're having a bunch of fun running into a bunch of famous people and seeing a bunch of good films.
I know.
Until they get back, or if you want to follow them, because I'm pretty sure they're posting about their time in Sundance, definitely follow their Instagram, at Mouth Dork on Instagram and at Sidewalk Siren on Instagram. Mouth Dork is also Mouth Dork on Twitter and Facebook, and Wife Dork is at Sidewalk Siren on Twitter and at Sidewalk Siren on Letterboxd and Instagram. I think I got all that shit mixed up.
You gotta write this down.
No, I got it in my head. Watch this. You can follow Mouth Dork at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, and then tap at Mouth Dork. You can follow Wife Dork at Sidewalk Siren and at Bake Dork on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow her at Sidewalk Siren on Letterboxd. Bam, Brian, in your face.
So it's like when rappers have to memorize their lyrics. So like when they go on concert. I just watched. This is off topic, but I watched I was watching Breakfast Club with Snoop, and he was talking about he was like, yeah, man, I go to these concerts, man. You know how many songs I got? He's like, he got a teleprompter for some of his lyrics. He's like Gin and Juice. Yeah, I'm good, but some of these obscure songs they be wanting me to sing. Like I don't know the lyrics of them shit.
That's because he smoked so much goddamn weed. It ain't got nothing to do with how many songs he got. I remember all Snoop songs, and other artists. So if I can remember Snoop discography and Master P and Notorious B.I.G., he just smoked too much weed. Anyway, I'm the Disco Dork on all social medias. That's going to do it for us. Stay tuned on our Fistful Friday. Brian, we got a fistful of
birds. Why is that funny? It's an auto of Birds of Prey.
Oh, okay. Jesus. All right, that's going to do it for us. Enjoy the rest of your week. And until next time, birds.